Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you from around the world for this session of JForex Indicators Explained. I am your host Vaibhav. In today's session, I will be explaining to you the concept, the uses, the properties of one indicator named force index. As the name suggests, this indicator tries to gauge the momentum in the underlying instrument, any instrument you can take, whether it is a forex instrument, commodity index, or simply a stock. You can use this indicator to look at its price action and consider how it is moving, what is the momentum, if the price action is also being accompanied by high enough force to continue that momentum in the same direction. So we will be looking at the concept of this indicator, and then we will also consider various ways in which we can customize this indicator on the JForex 4 platform to take advantage of the various trading opportunities arising in the market. This is the Euro USD chart, and I have plotted the force index indicator with the default parameters. The calculation period is 13, and the moving average type is SMA, simple moving average. The calculation of this indicator is fairly simple. Its output values are going to be in fluctuation. The output will keep fluctuating depending on the price action. If we have bullish momentum prevalent in the instrument of our choice, Euro USD in this case, then we will have the output of the force index on the positive side above zero. If we have the force index in the negative territory, then the force index output is going to be in a negative territory, indicating bearishness. The momentum is on the bearish side, so that will be indicative of the opportunities to go short. And when we have the output above zero, then that will indicate that the momentum is more favorable to taking the long trades. So that's how this indicator works. The concept is simple. It compares the current closing price and the moving average price with the prior prices. The and along with that, the volume data is taken into consideration. If we have a sharp price move which is also accompanied by a larger than usual volume, then there will be a sharp jump in the output of the force index, as we witnessed here. Just 2 hours back, we had this sharp move where force index jumped from negative territory to positive territory. So similar kind of moves need to have both the price action as well as the volume accompanying it to be strong. But if we have the price action which is quite strong but there is not enough of volume, then the force index will not move much. It won't be changing much as it had happened here at around 10 GMT in today's session. So that indicates the force being applied on the instrument of choice, the Euro USD, and we can simply make an interpretation that the larger the force, the longer time the momentum is likely to last. So here we saw that Euro USD's bearish momentum, bearish push didn't last much longer, and it simply consolidated, and eventually it turned higher again and started to move higher. And if we consider the price action after this sharp move, it has been holding steady closer to this higher range. Now it will be interesting to see what is it likely to do in next couple of hours. So this indicator can be used as a momentum gauge. You can consider if the trend is strong or not, and then accordingly make your trading decisions. And its name is I think quite apt, that it is called force index. So you get a direct idea of how much force is being exerted for prices to move in any particular direction. Now let's consider what are the editing options available to us on this platform. We have this applied price which can be varied. We can go for closing price, open price, high price, low price, median price, typical price, very close price. So all these various applied prices are available there for us to opt in for. the calculation of these indicators. Suppose if you want the open price to be applied for the calculation of the force index, then you have this difference. The plotting of the force index changes a bit when we have this indicator using the open price as its applied price. So whenever we change this applied price, we will see some changes in the plotting of this indicator. Now I am using high price, so you get the idea that this applied price plays a critical role in what kind of plotting, what kind of output we get for these indicator. The calculations time period is also very important. If you have lower time frame for calculation of this indicator, then the responsiveness of the indicator is going to be lot higher to the recent price move. Suppose if I reduce it to 7, then any big move in recent hours is going to cause a sharp jump or sharp decline in the output of these force indicators. So here you can notice that this 2 hours move on the higher side pushed the force index quite high from negative territory to sharply on the higher side. So this is how this indicator works. Now if we change this calculation period to include more data points. Now I am using 24 as the calculation period. So here we have these fluctuations now getting minimized to some extent as more data points are used. So there is going to be smoothing in these fluctuations of the force index output. So that is quite evident from these now new plotting with the force index being calculated for last 24 hours. We have these time period defined at 24. Moving average type can also be varied. SMA is a simple moving average. If you go for more responsive EMA, then that will also have the effect of getting the force index output to move quite sharply, as we are using EMA, which gives more weightage to the recent price data. We saw that this plotting has changed quite a bit when we were using SMA. If we use SMA, it becomes different. If you use EMA, then the responsiveness increases. So depending on what kind of moving average you use, you will always have some changes in terms of the plotting of these indicators output, TRIMA, KMA, MAMA, T3, and HMA. So all these moving averages have different or varied responses to the price action data, and accordingly that is affecting the output of these force index. So here we had a lot more smoother values for the force index earlier in the day, but the sharp move on the higher side has pushed the force index output sharply on the higher side. So this is all because of the changes we are carrying out in these input parameters, and as a result of that we are seeing changes in the output of this indicator. Now coming to its plotting, you can simply go for this simple blue line, or you can go for a bit of styling it up. So all these color combinations, various ways to plot these indicators are available to you. So if you want, you can go for different color combination for both trend up and trend down. So you will have the is of knowing when the trend is changing from one side to another when you go for these two different color combinations, and also it is looking somewhat more interesting. I'm not sure if it is looking more attractive or not, but it is of course looking more interesting for sure. So that's how these output options work. Coming to levels, we don't really have any upper bound or lower bound defined for these indicators output, so there is nothing on the level side. Coming to the advanced editing options, if you want the output of this indicator to remain constant throughout this calculation period, then you can opt in for this. If you want the calculation period to be highlighted, then you have to opt in for this. And if you want the calculation to be customized for any instrument or for the candle period, then the options are there. Even the spread side can be customized. So you can go for ask or bid, or you can simply use it from the chart. The candle period also plays a critical role. So you can use it to be same as the chart, or you can specify any particular candle period which needs to be used for the calculation of the indicator. And regardless of what is the chart's candle period, we will have the indicator plotted with the candle period being as per our requirement, as per what we have defined in its setting. So here we have this plotting of the force index output using 15 minutes as it candle period, with 24 being the calculation period. So we are looking at only 6 hours of data instead of 24 hours of data, even though the chart's candle period is of hourly time frame. So this plays a very important role in getting you the kind of data points you want. So you can take use of these various options. If you want the indicator to be available on all the candle periods, then you have to opt in for this. But if you want the indicator to be available only on chosen time frames, then you can opt out of that option, and only on the given time frames which you have chosen or selected, the indicator will be plotted, and on other time frames the indicator won't be plotted. So here we have this interesting option to work with. So it makes the reading of the chart values quite easier. You can have different indicators defined for different candle periods, and all those will be plotted accordingly. So you get the idea what I am trying to do here. All right, now let me again go back to the editing option. I am again opting in for the show indicator on all the periods. The base period can be any of these five options. You can go for none, or you can simply define 4 hour, day, week, month. So all these options are there. So guys, that's it from my side for today's session of these JForex indicators explained session. I hope you have been able to understand the concept, the uses, the properties of these indicator. I would suggest that you try it out on your own and see what are the various ways you can come up with to take advantage of these interesting indicator to look for profitable trading opportunities in the market. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. For trying out the various features of the newly released trading platform, I have also included the link in the bio. So do check it out. Thank you all for joining in. I will be back tomorrow with a new indicator, new explanation, new uses. Everything will be new. So do come back. Goodbye.